What's up everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer, and today I'll be discussing a theory about the possible backstory of Doomfist, as well as theorizing how the Successor likely has yet to take up a gauntlet of his own. So first off, let's go ahead and briefly recap what we know so far about the three known Doomfists. Keep in mind, this is all speculation gotten from the posters of them depicted on the Numbani map. First, we have the Savior. Presumably someone from the past, perhaps even before the first Omnic crisis. We can tell by his name and stance that he was most likely a heroic figure. With the sun at his back and his valiant forward-facing stance, he conveys the image of a protector. Someone who, appropriately given his title, saves people. The simplicity of his gauntlet in this image may lend to his power being more from his own strength than from the strength of the weapon he wields. His text at the bottom translates directly to Doomfist, which may not only disclose his name, but also may be the origin of the overall hero title. Given all this information, we can assume that he was good. Second, we have the Scourge. By his name alone, we can tell that he is the cause of great harm and suffering. His image lends even more to this, with his sideways stance and grim facial expression portraying an aura of wickedness. His raised gauntlet arm conveys aggression, with the green background coming across as toxic when compared to the warm yellow of the Savior's. His gauntlet is also bigger than the one used by the Savior, meaning that his power may come more from the weapon he wields than from himself. The text at the bottom of his poster loosely translates to Return of the Strong and The Crown Suits Me, which may indicate some sort of selfish obsession with taking the name and role of a past hero. Given all this information, we can assume that he was, or still is, evil. This now brings us to the third Doomfist, the Successor. Unlike the other two, he is obscured almost entirely in shadow, with the one exception being his gauntlet, which we can see is tremendously bigger than either of the previous two. His poster background is blue, with a shining raised fist. This symbol is very important, so remember it, as I will get back to it later. His title, being the Successor, is cryptically vague, and lends no evidence to his possible alignment. Furthermore, the text at the bottom is in the Omnic language, which, as of yet, is completely unreadable. All in all, it is difficult to determine from this poster alone whether the Successor is good or evil. It's strange that this Doomfist in particular is so cryptically secret and obscure, especially in a museum where you would expect to be able to find all the information there is on a topic being displayed there. The reason behind this obscurity may in fact be because the Successor doesn't actually exist yet. Think about it. This answers many of the major confusions we have about him. Why is he just a silhouette when the others are detailed images? Because nobody knows who he will be or what he will look like. Why does his gauntlet look massively different from the one we see in the cinematic and the payload, which is more attuned to the one we see the Scourge wearing? The answer to this is that the Scourge's gauntlet is the current Doomfist weapon, the one which was used by him and was then stolen back in the Orisa origin story. This is even confirmed by the pre-recorded voice we can hear within the Numbani Museum spawn room.
Coming soon, the Numbani Heritage Museum will be the proud home of the Doomfist itself. Once wielded by the infamous Scourge of Numbani, it will be the centerpiece of the expansion of the exhibit focusing on the men who bore the name Doomfist.
The one scene being worn by the Successor may be an artistic representation of what the people of Numbani expect it'll look like after being taken up by the next hero. Much like it changed between the Savior and the Scourge, they expect it to change again between the Scourge and the Successor. The name, the Successor, by the way, in actuality is likely just a placeholder title. Since nobody knows who they will be, nobody knows whether they will be good or evil. Therefore, he has been given the neutral alignment of simply being a successor. Or has he? I will get back to that later. Speculation doesn't end in the Numbani Heritage Museum. If we look around the map itself, we see multiple mini displays of the 3 Doomfists. When you look at them, you will notice that there is a small triangle pattern beneath the first 2 Doomfists, but not the third. This same sort of triangle pattern can be found elsewhere around the map, and is understood to be symbolic of the city of Numbani, or perhaps Africa as a whole. Having noted this, the lack of triangles beneath the Successor's image here could emphasize that the third Doomfist might not end up being from Numbani, or may not even be African at all. This theory is further supported when we look back at the original Overwatch cinematic, during the scene where Timmy puts his hand up on the glass of the Doomfist display. We see a few windows of information pop up, along with a small schematic of what looks very similar to the silhouette image of the Successor. Could this exhibit possibly be analyzing anyone who puts their hand on the glass, and then showing what it would be like if they were to become the next Doomfist? Could this be a way of either finding someone worthy, or perhaps even inspiring someone to take up the gauntlet? Now, this might seem unlikely, given that the gauntlet is under such a secure locking key. But what if the gauntlet used by each successive Doomfist isn't the same one? What if it is only the name that carries over, and they each create and/or use a different weapon for themselves? The Scourge's gauntlet is secured, or should I say was secured, because it was his weapon. If somebody else were to step up as the new Doomfist, they would have their own. And perhaps the full-arm gauntlet we see in the Successor could in some way already exist. As the world changes, the technologies in it change too. Perhaps the Scourge's gauntlet is considered an old war relic, much like a rifle from World War I would be considered in the real world. This could explain why it is being displayed in museums, as opposed to being stored in some high-security stronghold. It's seen as archaic, and while still a weapon, nobody expects that it would ever be used as such anymore, simply because it's outdated. Instead, if one were to fight using a melee gauntlet in modern-day Overwatch, it may look more akin to the depiction seen in the Successor's poster. This could also back the possibility that the Savior was a hero from the past. The reason he used simple knuckle dusters was because the technology for a powerful gauntlet, like the one used by the Scourge, didn't exist yet. The weapon he used fit with his time, just as the weapons for the other 2 Doomfists may fit with theirs. So with all of this taken into consideration, the story of Doomfist so far is actually kind of a sad one. The name of someone who is so heavily adorned and revered by the people of Numbani has been stolen and bastardized by a villain who has selfishly taken the title for his own glory. In fact, the important role of the Savior may actually be greater than one initially realizes. Every year, the people of Numbani hold an event called Unity Day, which is to celebrate the peace which has been achieved between both humans and Omnics, to allow for the creation of their city. Given that the Numbani Heritage Museum is opening their Doomfist exhibit on Unity Day, there's a good chance that Doomfist has some relation to the creation and peace of the city. Perhaps it could be that the possession of the Scourge's gauntlet symbolizes a victory for peace. But it also seems likely that the reasoning has to do with the Savior specifically. In fact, let's listen again to one specific part of the museum audio we heard earlier.
It will be the centerpiece of the expansion of the exhibit, focusing on the men who bore the name Doomfist.
That's right, the Doomfist. Not the 2, not the 3, but the one true Doomfist in the eyes of Numbani. The exhibit is in honor of the Savior alone. It is well within the realm of reason that he in some way helped with the establishment of good relations between humans and Omnics, and may also have played a crucial role in the founding of the city of Numbani. This would certainly warrant celebrating him on the day that celebrates their peaceful city, and makes the idea of the Scourge tainting the name of such a beloved and historically important hero all the more sickening. If we look back at the mini advertisements around the map for the Doomfist exhibit, we see it as the subtitle of Doomfist, Savior or Scourge. This seems to be posing a question for intrigue, and may indicate that at this point in time, people have forgotten the meaning behind the name Doomfist. Perhaps some remember him as a hero, but others know him today as being a villain. And interestingly, this title makes no reference to the Successor. This now leads to the climax of my theory. With continuous attacks on Numbani by the Scourge himself, and now that he is once again in possession of his old gauntlet, the citizens should be more terrified than ever, right? Wrong. As evidenced by their ability to maintain human and omnic relations to the point of building one of the most advanced cities in the world, the people of Numbani are strong. They created the OR-15s from the scraps of the Omnic Crisis in order to defend themselves. Despite the failure of these bots, they still have one hope. That's right, the Successor. Nobody knows who he will be or when he will come, but they have faith that he will rise up to not only vanquish the threat which plagues their great city, but also to return goodness and heroism to the tarnished Doomfist name. Remember the raised fist I acknowledged earlier? In the real world, a raised fist is a symbol of unity, strength, defiance, and most importantly, resistance. In this case, it's resistance against the violent oppression of the Scourge. The people of Numbani are not going to stand for their terrorist threat. They have faith and encourage someone, anyone, to stand up to him. Remember when I was talking about the size of the gauntlet inversely representing the physical strength of the hero who wields it? By depicting the Successor with a massive arm-sized gauntlet, it symbolizes that anybody, no matter their physical strength, can step up to take on the role as Numbani's new savior. This is further supported by the fact that even Timmy, a young child with a broken arm, is still shown that possibly he could be Doomfist. Yes, please let that tangent of speculation run wild. In addition, the large amounts of technology in it may show that the gauntlet, or perhaps even the hero as a whole, could be a hybrid of both human and omnic. You don't need to be one or the other, and you don't need big muscles. No matter who you are, all it takes is the will to stand up. Of course, there's no guarantee that the new Doomfist will be a good guy. The question posed by the advertisements around the map I mentioned earlier, as well as the ambiguity of the poster, may imply that there is a real chance of them being a villain. However, I think it is safe to say that in terms of Numbani's citizens, they have faith that the Successor will not simply be the next Doomfist, but he will be the next savior. So there you go. Right now, Numbani is waiting for someone to step up to this task. It could be anyone, maybe not even somebody from the city itself. But with all of this theory and consideration, I firmly believe that the Doomfist playable hero will in fact be the Successor, and that he will be a good guy, with the heart and will to protect those around him. Will he be the next hero? Will he be a tank or offense? We likely won't know any of these details for a while. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the theory I put together, and hopefully it will inspire further theorizing on what to me sounds like one of the most exciting possible upcoming heroes. This is Master Ian Gamer, signing off. Thanks for watching, and please leave a comment down below saying what you thought about this theory. Was there anything I missed or overlooked? Do you have a good counter-argument to any of it? Let me know, because I love hearing feedback from you. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more, as it really helps me out with making more and better content. Don't forget that you can follow me on Twitter @MasterIanGamer, and until next time, keep your fists raised and have a great day.